in pole position for the 6th consecutive time. On his way, he hopes, to his 6th consecutive win.
Now, Frentzen arrives and the pack are all in place. He should go in the pits and start from the pit lane if he manages to clear his car. Suspect the problems he's got, he'll go in the pit lane anyway, but Frentzen should not really cruise up to the back of this grid now.
Grid order: Schumacher, Barrichello in the white and blue Williams BMW, Ralf Schumacher. There's one of the Benettons coming into line.
They'll have to abort the start. A Benetton completely out of sync there. Who is that down there? It's Fisichella, isn't it? Start aborted. I had this back in the 80s once when somebody else took my grid slot, and Fisichella, what he's done is he's turned over to his grid slot too late. He's obviously got mixed up, expecting all the cars in front of him to go down one more line, one more box, and he's turned too late. Obviously, if he reverses, he'll be disqualified immediately. You cannot reverse on a racetrack. So Fisichella, has done the only thing he can, and that's switch it off. And the clerk of the course has done, the race director's done the only thing he can, and that is abort the start of the race. Fisichella will now be put to the back of the field, and I notice it already.
Followed by one of the arrows. How on earth did that get there, and who is it?
Verstappen.
It's got to be Verstappen, because Bernaldi was right at the back. Verstappen must have done an absolutely sensational start, because he's up into 6th position and he started in 18th place.
Let me do a quick 1 to 10, Mary, because the changes are amazing in these first couple of laps of the Grand Prix. One aborted and now just coming over the line to complete their first flying lap. It's Michael Schumacher from Rubens Barrichello by 1.3 seconds. Jarno Trulli, David Coulthard in 4th, Frentzen in the 2nd, Jordan 5th, Jos Verstappen, Jacques Villeneuve 7th, Mika Hakkinen down to 8th, so the two McLarens have swapped places effectively. Hannes 9th and Heidfeld 10th. It's on your screen now, the second half of that of the motor race.
Just listen to who Verstappen has passed. He's got past Jenson Button, Fisichella, Bertie, Raikkonen, Alesi, Irvine, Heidfeld, Panis and Frentzen. No, not Frentzen. He's got ahead of all of those, and he's now running, as you've just heard from Martin, in 6th position. There is the arrows. Now, what this says to me, Martin, is, hello, that looks like
Villeneuve, I think.
Panis or Villeneuve. What this says to me about Jos Verstappen, he's on a very light fuel load. Movement there in the Jordan pit, as out comes Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who was in 6th position.
Well, I don't know what they're reacting to by bringing these cars in, because the mid-sector's just 3 seconds too slow. I know it'll come round quite quickly, but at the moment they're still, of course, they were on wet, so I suppose they're moving from wets to slicks, and I'm comparing them with Michael on the intermediates, but nonetheless it is still a touch too early for slicks.
No, not now, I think, Martin. Mika Hakkinen has just done the fastest first sector, as you pointed out earlier on. But this is the fastest of the whole race, 25.7, compared with Michael Schumacher's 26.2. There is Jarno Trulli in 5th position in the Jordan. And the order is Schumacher, Barrichello, Coulthard, Verstappen still hanging on in the arrows, in the points, in 4th place, ahead of Jarno Trulli that we have just seen. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, both the Jordans are in the top 6, as are both the Ferraris. Mika Hakkinen in the 2nd McLaren is out of the points, he's in 7th place. Ralf Schumacher is 8th, and you watch now the Jordan, here it comes.
Coulthard's getting some good lap times in now on his full wets. He's down to within 2 seconds a lap of Michael Schumacher. We're going to take a short break.
Coming up towards...
Haven't seen Tom this weekend, no, he's probably listening to us at home.
Tom, the boss of the Orange Arrows team, if you're watching, Tom, we're hanging on for you, and I'm sure you are sitting there biting your fingernails, because Jos Verstappen is doing a terrific job for you, as has everybody else at Leafield. The Arrows is really superb here.
Yes, and while we were in the break, Fisichella dropped out of the race with some kind of mechanical problem by the looks of it. So Fisichella now out of the race, and we are down to just... Well, we've still got 14 runners left. We haven't had that's the first car to fall out for a while. And
Frentzen is now starting to give Mika Hakkinen a hard time. And Australia's team, Australia and Italy's team, the European Minardi team, has got both its cars still in the running. Marquez is 14th out of 14 and Alonso is 13th out of 14, but they're both doing terrifically well to stay in this race as they have done. And now Ralf Schumacher is again doing a fastest lap of this part of the race. They're still about 4 seconds off the fastest lap of Michael Schumacher, which was on lap 3 in the Ferrari when conditions were very good indeed. But now Mika Häkkinen has got Frentzen behind him and Verstappen in front of him in 14th position. And coming up behind him is the Prost. Both the Prosts are left in the race. Mazzacane from Argentina is in 12th position. John Alesi is in 9th position. There is Rubens Barrichello, who has lapped this battle between Mazzacane in the blue Prost and Tasso Marquez in the black European Minardi. And it's Marquez who is pulling away.
So Ralf Schumacher then, he's on another hot lap. He's going to have the gap down to 2-point-something seconds, I would imagine. 2.3 it is, and another new fastest lap of the race for himself. That is Ralf Schumacher, and now just 2.3. He'll be up behind Coulthard before the end of the lap that they're on at the moment, but this is still the scrap behind them for 5th, 6th and 7th.
Now they're all on slick tyres, on groove tyres, which require the driest part of the track. When you look down from the helicopter, you will have noticed a light grey line on the tarmac all around the circuit. And really they're having to stick to that, because if you move off onto the wetter stuff on these groove tyres, the grip will diminish, you'll get wheel spin, you get enormous deceleration when you take your foot off the accelerator in these cars, and you can very easily spin out of contention.
Faster than anything he's done up until now, so clearly enjoying a change of tyres.
As Rubens Barrichello must be enjoying second position, admittedly 41 seconds behind Michael Schumacher, but 6 seconds ahead of David Coulthard on this, the 45th lap in this 55-lap race. And the question now is not so much who is going to be third, that will be David Coulthard, not so much who's going to be fourth, which should be Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Their lap times are virtually identical, but who are going to be fifth and sixth? At the present moment, it looks like Ralf Schumacher and Mika Häkkinen, but Mika Häkkinen is putting on a tremendous charge in the McLaren.
Depends how much fuel Coulthard's got on board, as we've said before. Really, it must be touch and go for him to get to the end of the race. If he has to pit, I don't see him being able to maintain that current third-place podium position. We're taking a short break.
Lap 46 out of 55, which was originally intended to be a 56-lap race and was shortened by 1 lap after the problems with the first start. And it looks at the present moment as though Ferrari are going to finish first and second to give Michael Schumacher his 6th successive victory. And if they do, it will increase their already substantial lead over McLaren in the Constructors' Championship by 11 points. It will give...
We made the good choice on the tyres, and unfortunately the pit stop took so long. I mean, it was going quite well. All of a sudden I saw one of the mechanics putting a slick tire on my right side, and the engine was already too hot. Everything was running hot. I saw Michael behind me. I didn't know what to do, so basically I had to calm down and go again.
Now I think at the end of the day Michael made 1 stop and you made 2. Was that always the plan? That's petrol stops. Well,
I mean, I tell you, Michael is a hell of a driver, and but I wish I could have a little bit of his lucky as well, because I think when he went off, he didn't collect as much stones as I did, so I had to stop once more to clean everything basically. So at the end of the day, he got it.
I think during the course of the race, you actually lost both your barge boards. How did the car handle with those items missing?
You know, I think we have a good car, a fantastic car actually. I mean, the best car I ever driven, like I have said. Once I came on the radio to tell that I saw some bits of the car flying, and that's basically was some of the barge boards and maybe the brake duct or something. But I run off the track 3 or 4 times, so the cars are very robust, but they're not off-road.
But yeah. What's a ballpark figure for a test drive?
For a test drive, you know, you're probably looking at above 200 or 300 Australian to up to 1.5 million. You know, that's so it's it is good money, but that's what the industry's about, and there's so much going into it, and they want good people working in their teams.
Yeah, Mark Webber certainly on his way and doing a pretty good job too. Another young Australian on his way, Steve Owen, secured an Indy Light seat with Brian Stewart Racing following a very impressive two-day test in the Nevada desert. The 25-year-old from Melbourne will not only start in the next round at Long Beach, but he may all have secured funding to complete the season thanks to a UK firm, Gigawave. We'll keep you up to date with Steve's progress throughout the year, as well as other Aussies racing overseas, and it's terrific news that that's happened. Really excited about that. He's a nice young bloke, and he's been really putting in some hard yards. All right, of course, the next time we go round will be from Brazil, the Brazilian Grand Prix live early Monday morning. That's April 2. But check your local guides, 2:50 a.m. But right around Australia, that could change slightly, so please check your guides. That's in 2 weeks' time. All right, we hope you've enjoyed the coverage. It's been a pretty amazing race, hasn't it? Been really good. So on behalf of all the crew here at Nines by